Okay, so you've got this brilliant idea. Maybe you've got some sketches, a little bit of code, but you have absolutely nothing to demo. And trying to raise money in that situation, it can feel pretty much impossible. But what if I told you that some of the biggest companies out there started in this exact spot? Let's dive into how you can secure that capital, not by showing a finished product, but by proving your vision is just undeniable.
So here's the game plan. We're going to walk through a really clear 4-pillar framework that will completely transform your pitch. First up, we're going to focus on the problem. Then, we'll get into how to make your vision feel totally real. After that, we'll talk about building a defensible moat. And finally, we'll cover how to prove you're already making things happen.
This is the question, right? It's what keeps founders up at night, and it's the core challenge we are tackling today. That feeling that you have nothing tangible, nothing to show, it can be paralyzing. But the answer isn't to rush out a half-baked demo. It's to completely change what you're selling.
And this, right here, is the crucial mindset shift. When you don't have a product, you have to offer something else. And that something else is profound clarity, deep insight, and real defensibility. Investors are hunting for signals that prove you understand this space better than anyone else on the planet.
So let's get right into our first pillar. At this early stage, your most valuable asset isn't your code, it's your obsession with your user's pain point. Your job is to make an investor feel that frustration just as deeply as your customers do. Now think about this for a second. It's all about credibility. When you can articulate a problem with so much nuance and detail, you're not just pitching an idea anymore, you're demonstrating expertise. You're proving that you've lived in the trenches and you're the only person who can build the solution.
So how do you prove this expertise? With cold, hard evidence. I'm talking about showing them transcripts from user interviews, displaying the broken, convoluted workflows people are struggling with right now, breaking down exactly why the existing tools just don't cut it. This is how you make your insight tangible.
And this is probably the single most important thing to remember from this section. I want you to completely reframe your perspective here. All that discovery work you've done, the interviews, the analysis, that's not just homework. Right now, that is the asset you're pitching. It's the proof you're building on a foundation of fact, not just a daydream.
All right, let's move on to our second pillar, which builds directly on the first. See, it's not enough to just understand the problem. You have to show you have a credible, concrete plan to solve it. This is where you turn that abstract vision into something an investor can actually see and, more importantly, believe in.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the founder with a dream. It's vague, it's all about chasing features, and honestly, feels kind of fuzzy. But on the right, that's the founder with a plan. They have a clear model for how their solution works and a laser-focused vision for version 1. That's who gets the check.
So what does a killer V1 plan actually look like? Well, it means you can name the exact user you're building for. You can define the one core function that has to work perfectly, and this is so important. You can list what you are explicitly not building yet. That shows discipline, it shows you know how to execute.
And this quote just nails it. A detailed plan shifts the entire conversation. You're no longer asking for money to go explore an idea. You are asking for capital to execute a specific, well-defined mission. Suddenly, it feels like an investment in inevitability, not just some wild speculation. Okay, on to pillar number 3. This is where we build real confidence and defensibility. We're talking about intellectual property, or IP. And listen, this isn't just some boring legal thing you deal with later. It is a foundational asset that tells investors your idea is way more than just a slide deck.
Let's be super clear about what we mean by IP at this stage. It could be patents, trade secrets, or maybe unique technical architecture. Think of it this way. If you discover a new process for making batteries charge twice as fast, your patent protects that unique method, not just the physical battery you'll eventually build. It's your secret sauce.
I absolutely love this reframe. Most founders think of IP as a shield, something for protection down the road. But the smartest founders, they see it as fuel for the engine. It's an offensive tool that actively drives the growth of the company. So how exactly is it fueled? Well, filing a patent on that battery process adds real, tangible weight to your pitch. It can help you win strategic partnerships with, say, car manufacturers because it shows your tech can't just be easily copied. It tells everyone in that room that you are dead serious about owning a unique space in the market. And that brings us to our final pillar, proving you can execute. Even without a product, you have to demonstrate momentum. Remember, investors are betting on your ability to make progress. And this is how you show them you're already on the move.
A win at this stage isn't about revenue, it's about progress. So what does that progress look like? It looks like a filed provisional patent. It looks like a key technical insight that you can document. It looks like a signed letter of intent from a potential customer saying, hey, if you build this, we'll buy it. These are concrete signals that you're resourceful and you can make things happen.
And all this momentum leads to a much, much stronger ask. A vague $500,000 request to build the MVP just feels risky. But a precise ask for, say, $75,000 to achieve specific, value-creating milestones, that inspires confidence. It shows you know exactly what the next step is.
So how do we bring this all home? These 4 pillars, they aren't just separate tactics. They combine to create one powerful, fundable narrative that works even when you don't have a single line of code to show.
Here they are again. You've shown you deeply understand a real problem. You've presented a clear, focused plan to solve it. You've built a strong, defensible IP moat, and you've proven you can execute on that plan. That's the whole story. This is so empowering. You need to stop focusing on what you lack, the product. Instead, pitch what you already possess. Pitch your unique insight, your protected IP, your sharp plan, and your proven ability to make progress. These are your real assets.
And that's really the central message of this whole explainer. A product is just the result of a great plan. The plan itself, that's what gets you funded. Your clarity, your strategy, and your evidence are what investors are truly buying into at this stage.
So I'll leave you with this question. Your idea is, without a doubt, brilliant. But have you done the work to build the problem, the plan, the moat, and the proof of execution all around it? In other words, have you made it truly fundable?